In this video, we're going to be creating an address model and outlining the information we need in the database as well. So we need to have a create addresses table. In this one here specifically, we want to have a string in here for the name of the address. That can't be nullable. We also want to have an address line 1 and address line 2, which can be nullable. We also want in here to have a string of state, which it can be state, province, or county. That can be nullable because some places won't have states necessarily. City, which cannot be nullable. And then a postcode or zip, and that can't be nullable either. And then you just want the country. Now, there's more to it than this, because we probably want to go ahead and actually create a model in here called country. So if we go ahead now here and say create countries, in here we want to have a string of the country, and in this case that should be, well, actually let's go ahead and call this name. Then let's go ahead and have a code, so the country code, and then also I think that's actually it. So let's go ahead now and change this to a foreign ID, country ID, and let's set this to constrained and set non-delete, because we don't want to delete someone's addresses because a country gets deleted in the database. We want to constrain this to the countries table. Let's go ahead and migrate it. And we also want to go ahead and make sure, because we need to have this countries migration run first. So let's go ahead and just make sure that we have this as, there we go. And now we have it working fully. So if we take a look in the database, we should now have country. We should have address. Perfect. So the next thing I want to go ahead and do now is I want to head into the country model. Now the country model is just going to be basically just a regular model here, but the address model is going to have a public function country belongs to return this belongs to country, because we don't really want to do anything in the country model. The country model could also be used for other use cases where you want a list of countries. Now you don't have to store this in the database, but if you are in a scenario where you want to not allow all countries, or you want to be able to remove and delete them, it's good to have them stored in a central place. If you, for example, didn't want to have the United Kingdom as a place you ship to anymore, or something like that, because of restrictions or sanctions or anything like that, then you can remove it easily, and it's just a good use case to have it like that. Now we're not going to create a Filament resource for addresses because we don't want to store that information. We actually want to go a step further, and we want to have the fillable in here, of course. So if we go back into create addresses, we're going to have the name as well. And then we have city and state. Now, in this case, I actually want to go ahead and have a cast in here. So now, if you're adding this into an address one afterwards, you may need to remigrate things or make a command that updates and hashes all of them. But if we just imagine that you're doing this from scratch, you can easily go ahead and say address line 1 as hash. And the same for address line 2, state, and zip. And then these will be encrypted in the database, protecting a bit more. Now, if we take a look at the Laravel, here we can see cast and encrypted and hash. So actually we should use encrypted. So let's go ahead and change this to encrypted. But basically this will then go ahead and decrypt and automatically encrypt it upon accessing the model, making a bit more protection for it. Now for the country, we again want to have a protected fillable in here for name and code. So with that sorted, in the next video we're going to start creating the ability to manage countries on a Filament resource, so you don't have to do that manually in the database, which would take a lot more time. Thank you very much for watching this video though. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.